been very naughty, Miss Kettlewell.
Hello, Kyra. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I am wonderfully excellent today. Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Right? Right?
Love it on this Tuesday.
I'm so excited to get to talk with you about living with Chucky. Oh my God.
Thank you.
All right. No, this is going to be good. Kyra Gardner. Okay. So before we get into Chucky, I've got to start. Growing up in the household you did, what was the movie? What was that spark? Where did it all begin for you in wanting to make movies with, this amazing household?
Oh, goodness. God. I always loved, movies in general and, horror movies in particular, given the household that I grew up in, having a special effects artist as a dad, I was exposed to a lot of things probably at an earlier age than I should have, like a lot of, fake dead bodies coming home, or Chucky being on the couch at the ripe old age of 4 and freaking out and being late to preschool and things like that. So there was always interest in movies, but I didn't really always know that I wanted to pursue that as a career. I originally actually wanted to be a nurse because I was so desensitized to blood and horror, and I still am. It's so weird. Yeah, and I did some volunteer work at my local hospital, but it didn't seem to click for me personally, and so my parents then persuaded me to take a film class, actually, because I have ADHD. So anytime there was an opportunity to opt for like making a video format of something instead of writing, I was always making videos because I didn't want to write. And so they were like, you're pretty creative. You should check this out. And my experience was always, the makeup trailer and my dad's side of it. And I see the way my dad is about makeup and things and color theory. I don't understand color theory. I don't understand skin tones. But, he was so passionate. I didn't find myself as connected. I love SFX makeup. It's a great hobby. But then I directed my first short at a summer class that I was lucky enough for my parents to help me take. And I directed my first short, and I was like, oh yeah, you can get paid to do this. That's insane. And so I fell in love with directing, and from there it kind of just spiraled into loving to direct, horror genre and those types of things and the things that my dad does. So it just like was this weird circled way about of figuring out that I really wanted to just direct what my dad does.
That's incredible. That's an incredible story. Oh my goodness. I can't imagine, growing up and, maybe your dad hiding like a dead fake body in the room, and you come in and you're like, whoa, what's going on? There had to be so many practical jokes. I can't wait to hear about
my
that.
mom. Yeah, my mom was thankfully like a guiding force in staying away from some of that shit, because my dad would had ideas that would take it way too far, and I would need more therapy than I already do. So
oh my goodness. Oh, that's amazing. And so this led you to this unbelievably amazing documentary, Living with Chucky. And like you said, you directed your first short. Is it true that this Living with Chucky was originally a short?
Yes, it was a short film that I did my sophomore year of college at Florida State University.
And I'm just like, with all the movies and TV shows, how can we get a short of Living with Chucky? It got to be this feature film, right? How did you pack so much into a short film? I'm so glad you got to make this feature length one.
Yeah, that was, it was already, it was challenging in the feature as well. But yeah, the short film was challenging because there was no way to really cover the franchise at all while also doing all these other things. So it just, boom, was the family dynamic of it all around Chucky. And we just had to go right into it. And obviously it was not long enough for me to really do a whole lot with it. And that was the main critique when it played at festivals, was just that it wasn't long enough. People really wanted to see more, which was actually very inspiring to me to create the feature. And so having an hour and 40 allowed me a lot more time to play with the history of the franchise, as well as covering that family moment that was really what the short film was about. So it kind of was hopefully, encompassing everything in an hour and 40, but there's still stuff we didn't even get to because there's so much.
There is so much, and maybe there will be a sequel or whatnot, because I know there's more Chucky on the way. And I've got to ask, part of the movie, I think, when the film is transitioning into each movie, there's VHS tapes and there's DVDs. Is that your hand going from the VHS and the DVDs putting into the VCR and the DVD player?
Yeah.
All right. Gorgeous nails, by the way. I noticed the different nails on every hand. So
thank you. I tried to correspond the color palettes into the nails to make it a little more interesting. Actually, I filmed it is my hand because I filmed it over COVID. All those like transitions. So literally like I'm like focusing the camera and then like trying to tilt down while I'm putting it in the VHS player, because my dad, bless his heart, for the life of him, cannot film with a camera at all. And my mom wouldn't let me use her hands because she didn't want me to. So I was like, okay, I guess my hands are now all over this movie. Great. So that's how that came to me.
Literally. And you said earlier that you're not good with color palettes or color theory, but kudos to you. I noticed the colors and the nails that corresponded. So,
oh, don't get me wrong, I am a color palette hoe. I am so particular about my color palettes in like movies, but when it comes to like makeup and like, I don't know what my undertone is. Like that matching skin color I don't get.
Okay.
Yeah.
So going through all the Chucky movies, once again, you made this amazing montage of clips of all the kind of best Chucky moments. And it reminded me, I think somebody did that with Nightmare on Elm Street with all these great scenes, but you did it with Chucky. And I've been always, because Chucky is near and dear to me. So I'm so glad somebody finally made that. And what was that like fun to go through every movie? It's like, oh no, we're putting this in, we're putting this in.
Yeah, it was interesting. It's almost like the film has two openings, because there's the mold making that we start off with, but then, I was like, we need some of this character that's been, throughout the franchise and an introduction. That was really fun because I've seen a lot of fan edits of Chucky, but I don't enjoy editing particularly as a film editor, but montage editing is really fun in my opinion. So that was cool to be like, okay, I know these films very well now because I've had to cut out clips for the documentary. So it was like, gotta have the presto, you're dead line here. And then, I had watched them so many times, so it was fun to be, transition from one to another and hopefully seamless ways.
Yes, no, for sure. And in going through all these interviews and talking with everybody, because you have some great people on there, was there anything, growing up, kind of within the business and in the horror genre, was there anything about Chucky that you did not know that you learned from this movie, from this doc, that you didn't know?
Well, actually that moment, because some of the interviews, they're spread out over the course of several years of making this thing. So when I first set out to do the short, I knew mainly Chucky from my dad's side of things. And then, I had seen most of them. I don't think I had seen Child's Play 3 or at that time or anything. But when David Kirshner was talking about how Chucky got his name, of it's the 3 serial killers, the reason where he goes like, yeah, I don't know if you know that, it's because my face on the opposite end of the camera is
mine exploded.
Yeah, because that's my facial reaction that he's reacting to, which is funny. That was a mind-blowing moment. And also it's not in the documentary because my dad forgot to mention it during his interview, but actually while he had to recreate Chucky and Tiffany and then design Glenn from scratch because he wasn't given molds or anything from Universal or Kevin, and so he had to make it from scratch. I knew that in our conversation, but he didn't tell me that because Seed had not done well in the box office at the time. He didn't tell me that Universal then threw out all the molds. So he had to make it from scratch again, going into Curse several years later.
All right. And for you personally, when is Chucky his most sadistic and evil to you in any of the movies or TV show? When is he his most evil and sadistic?
Oh gosh. Well, I think the TV series provides, a lot in itself in new ways. But like in in the movies, that's hard just because of the generation that I have grown up in. And I don't think this movie would be made today. I feel like Child's Play 3 is a little underrated in I think how sadistic it is that the paintballs are replaced with actual bullets and kids are shooting.
No, that's hardcore. That is hardcore.
That's insane. And I don't think that's talked about enough of how effed up that is. I think that's the craziest to me, to be honest.
Oh, I like that. I like that. And that shows in your documentary, they talk about that. So I thought that was wonderful. Here's a fun question for you. Since Chucky is like this iconic figure, I mean, he's one of the kings of pop culture and horror cinema. If you can insert the character Chucky into any movie that's out to make it a different film, what movie would it be?
Oh my God. Like any genre movie?
Any movie. Like I mean, I will want Chucky and Sleepless in Seattle. Hot damn, that would be amazing.
Oh my God. Oh gosh, that's such a great question. But there's so many movies. Oh Lordy Lord, what would be an answer there? It could be anything. Maybe like Mean Girls.
Ooh, yes.
For some reason.
I love that. Chucky and Mean Girls. Oh my God, that would be amazing. And Tiffany's in there, so that's good. I could also see him going into Goodfellas as well. I like that.
Oh yeah, really, he can insert himself anywhere, and as he should,
Right, as he should. And my last question for you before we wrap this up, because I'm sure we'll talk in Austin at Fantastic Fest. It's obvious you're a cinematic aficionado. So are there any particular scenes from movies that have stuck with you over the years that have helped shape your creative life?
Oh God. I mean, yeah, from horror films. God, I mean, so many. I'm a big fan of James Wan and the Insidious franchise. The scene where Lin Shaye comes in and she's looking at the demon on the ceiling, but we're not seeing anything. And it cuts back just from the ceiling fan to her reaction. I don't know why that's always stuck with me of, a lesson of like show, don't tell type of thing that creates so much tension and horror. Obviously, other movie moments. I mean, there's been so many. I'm a big Tim Burton fan, Corpse Bride. I love that whole movie as something.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure right there. The clown.
Oh my God, I know. That's so weird that he directed Pee-wee's Big Adventure, but yeah. And then more recently, I don't know. Like, is that an overall genre question or just horror?
Oh, anything.
Gosh. Sorry, I haven't been asked that in a long time. Greta Gerwig, Lady Bird.
Oh yeah.
Been more of a recent inspiration to me. The line, the particular scene where they're shopping for a prom dress and Lady Bird's trying it on and she goes, "Do you like me?" And the mom goes, "Of course I love you." And then the daughter's like, "No, but do you like me?" I bawled.
Why can't you say I look nice? I thought you didn't even care what I think.
I still want you to think I look good.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was telling you the truth. You want me to lie?
No, I mean, I wish that you liked me.
Of course I love you.
But do you like me?
I want you to be the very best version of yourself that you can be.
At that, I bawled at that. It was such like a real moment, mother-daughter, that I just adore.
Oh, I love that. I love that a lot. We got to wrap this up. Thank you, Kyra, for joining me today, taking the time out. Hope to run into you this week at the festival.
Yes, I'll have the little one with me.
Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh,
yeah.
Living with Chucky. See it. It's so good.
Thank you.
Thank you.